Hi everyone, my name is Sierra Kenworthy and I'll be starting the presentation for Group 4. We're presenting Chapter 11, Innovation and Change, Technology in the Workplace. For the opening reflection, can you think of a time technology has changed your work? How has it affected your schooling, your business? And also, how has it changed your interaction with even the world around you? How does it affect your personal relationships? Does social media connect you with your family members? Does FaceTiming allow you to see relatives that you may not see very often otherwise? Think of the positive and negative aspects of technology and how it affects you on a daily basis. Take the time now to pause the video and reflect in the comments below. Now that you've had time to reflect, man, times they are a changin'. 38% of organizations are currently implementing digital workplace technology. 44% of workplaces have some form of digital workplace programs in place, and 17% of organizations have plans to create a formal digital workplace strategy in the next 2 years. But overall, 95% of organizations agree that a digital workplace is important. So what we will discuss further in this video is innovation and change, the types of innovation and change, and finally a critical assessment.
Hello everyone, my name is Logan Coombs. I'm going to start the presentation off by going over innovation and change, going in more depth about what it is, how it works, what companies are striving with innovation and change, and their key attacks on this topic. But first, I'm going to start it off with an example from the book. There's a good section about Zappos and how the company was ran and their innovation to keep the company alive and strive in the market. They're talking about how Zappos is setting up a new break room that's even smaller than it had before, and they're going decreasing the size of square feet per worker from 150 square feet to 100 square feet, just so the employees are close together, tight-knit group, share ideas, interact, talk, and they're making their break room really small so people literally have to collide and talk and go over if they're doing paperwork, new creations, ideas, anything around those lines. And then they're also opening its lobby as a free co-working space so people can mingle with employees from other companies and visitors, like a hotel lobby. Patrick Olson, the senior manager of campus development at Zappos, said those ground floor connection points, we see that as magic. I have to agree with him on that. I think it's a great idea to just get people talking, especially in the age that we live in now, is a lot of technology and just interactions through the internet, computer, phone, iPad, tablet. It's all digital. We don't really see people talking as much face to face, which is sometimes hard for companies that are struggling with communication. So we're going to head on to the next slide. Hello everyone, my name is. Now that we're going to shift gears, just talking about different markets that have gotten past the threshold of the innovation and change, which is just the markets that allow certain companies to strive and make it easier on the consumers and how the process works through buying and selling produce or items. So we're going to start with travel. Travel is a great example because back then you had to book vacations or like business trips through a travel agent, or you could do it on your own, which took a lot of time on the phone and planning everything out. But now you can just do it all online. It's a quick, easy step by step, just by clicking, hey, I want a bedroom and two nights from Thursday, Friday, breakfast included, great area. So that's a good example. Then we have video rentals. Back then, everything was either DVD or like Blockbuster. You had to go in your vehicle, drive, go get a DVD to watch, which is just so much more time consuming than what we have nowadays. We got Netflix, Hulu, CW app, HBO, ESPN. We got everything. So it's just easier for the consumers just to watch a show or a movie right in your backyard. Moving on to the music industry. I mean, over the last 20 years, we've seen many changes in the music industry about the CDs, cassettes, MP3 players, and digital music downloads. That was a time where everyone just had to buy music. You couldn't stream it for free. If you wanted to listen to a song on your own at your house, you'd either have to turn the radio or you'd have to download music on your iPod or your cassette player and listen to it that way. But now we have companies such as Apple and Spotify, SoundCloud, just all different platforms of music where people can listen to a song in an instant without buying a certain song or album. You pay monthly subscriptions, which I think is brilliant. It's either monthly or yearly, which has allowed people to pretty much listen to any song, genre, whatever they want, which is perfect. So that's great. Moving on to newspapers, I mean, that was probably the one that hurt the most since the technological era that we started to adapt. Newspaper companies were going out of business because they were just printing papers that nobody was reading when you can just access the newspaper either on the computer, your phone, or even TV. So that was a tough time for newspaper companies. And then I guess bookstores goes with the same level. I mean, I couldn't tell you when the last time I went to a bookstore was, to be honest. Anything I read or come across is either my phone, my computer. Yeah, so, I mean, that's pretty much it for bookstores. I mean, you have Barnes and Nobles and companies like that are still alive to this day just because of, I mean, it's tough on the eyes for someone to read on the e-readers or the e-books. So just having a hard copy is always nice. But as we've seen the innovation, the e-readers were popular in the early 2000s. I know my mom and dad had one. They loved it. So that was always a great option to have for reading like on the road, on the plane, so you don't have to bring like a hard copy book. So that was great. Now we're gonna take a look into companies that have created efficiency in innovation and change through technology and creative ideas within the companies. The three that stick out the most were Amazon, Spotify, and Tinder. Pretty much three different platforms. You have commercial sales with Amazon. You can literally buy anything from them. Spotify in the music industry, and Tinder in, I guess, romance or dating apps, which Tinder skyrocketed. They've created a way for consumers to use their product over other top-end companies worldwide. So if you guys could watch and listen to the video in the next slide, that'd be great.
Why is Amazon such a successful company? How come Tinder disrupted the overcrowded online dating market? And how did Spotify manage to make people pay for music again? Well, let me give you some quick answers here in the promo video so you understand what this course is all about. Since the beginning, Amazon based its whole innovation strategy on constantly disrupting the sales and delivery channels, which are just one part of a business model of a company. They started by disrupting channels for the books market. Instead of going to a library to buy and pick up your physical books, you would order them online and get them delivered by post directly to your home. That was channel innovation, and Amazon kept doing this ever since by selling more and more products online. When they created the Kindle, it became yet a new sales and delivery channel for books. You can both buy and receive books on your Kindle. And now Amazon is experimenting with drone delivery, which is yet another delivery channel, and they also introduced the Echo device with Alexa and the Dash buttons, which are both new sales channels. So instead of going on Amazon.com to order something, you can now tell Alexa to do it or press your Dash button. So both these devices are innovative sales channels. As you can see, Amazon is mainly innovating in one single area of the business model, which is the sales and delivery channels. Spotify is doing the same, but in another area of the business model, which is the revenue models. If we go back to the CD era, you needed to pay a big sum of money for a whole album, even if you only liked a few songs on it. Then Apple came with iTunes and disrupted this market by allowing people to pay for each song individually. That was the first massive revenue model innovation in the music industry. But illegal downloading was still a big problem and music revenues were going down. Eventually, Spotify came and proposed a streaming model where you could listen to music for free but with advertising, and the ad revenue was distributed among artists. So this was once again a revenue model innovation for the music industry. More and more people downloaded the app, but still, it didn't make enough money for the artists. That's why Spotify later introduced a paid version of its app, without advertising and with better features. So the whole revenue model became what we call a freemium one. That's when you have both free and paying users. And Spotify managed to reach a stunning 25% conversion rate. It seems that finally, the music industry has reached the right pricing and revenue model. So the success of Spotify is largely based on its disruptive revenue model in the music industry. And once again, this is just one block of their business model. And finally, Tinder dramatically disrupted the overcrowded online dating industry by innovating on design. Yes, just the design of their app and service. Instead of filling a complex form on an online dating website about your body measurements, eye color, income, interests, etc. to be somehow matched with a person that corresponds to you, Tinder went all the way back to the roots, which is the looks of a person. Look at the picture. Do you feel attracted to the person you see? Yes? No? Then swipe right or swipe left. Super easy. And as long as the other person didn't swipe back at you, you can't contact them. So girls can't be harassed anymore and don't need to filter through dozens of guys writing them, and so they are more willing to use the service. All of this is design innovation. Both the visual design of the app, but also the design of the service, how it works, compared to the competitors. And design fits right here in the value proposition block of the business model. Another company which is successful thanks to design mainly is Uber, but I'll stop here for now. There are many other areas of the business model where companies innovate. Some become successful by innovating on their target customer, others by disrupting the customer relationships and their marketing strategies. Yet others do it by optimizing their processes and costs and become much more efficient than most of their competitors. So this course is about disruptive innovation. If all what I said sounds interesting to you, then go ahead and check out the free previews of this course, especially the introduction, to know more in details what we're going to cover in it. Why is Amazon?
After seeing the video and listening and watching the examples of Amazon, Spotify, and Tinder, you can get a good sense of how they've achieved greatness from other companies in their markets just by having the innovation and the great ideas that come within the companies and how they have managed to do something that other companies haven't done within their certain platform. So those three are a great example of innovation and change. Because as the world grows every year, companies need to enhance innovation and change, or we'll fall behind with technology, new discoveries, and great ideas.
Hello, my name is Kara, and I'll be the speaker for types of technology-driven innovation and change. Innovate, to make changes in something established, especially by introducing new methods, ideas, or products. Technological innovation is using technology and knowledge to find scientific discoveries, search for higher performance with lower price, and the creation of new markets. Technological discoveries are what have created the development of the modern world. Innovate or die. To succeed, we need to keep the pace. Moore's Law states that the rate of improvement will increase exponentially over time. If Moore's Law is theoretically true, organizations must innovate ahead of emerging technologies to have a competitive edge. Here's some examples of Moore's Law. When I was in high school, the early 2000s, I bought a 512 megabyte jump drive for $40. Today, jump drives are given away for free with gigabytes of storage capabilities. What about calculators? Do you use them? Handheld calculators in the early 70s cost hundreds of dollars. My father tells me of his $150 handheld calculator he bought for college. How do organizations innovate? There are two approaches to establishing or encouraging innovation within organizations. There is the ambidextrous approach or the bottom-up approach. The ambidextrous approach is used to implement organic and mechanistic structures to create the conditions necessary for both exploring and exploiting innovations. In the ambidextrous approach, the organic structure would be decentralized, flexible, autonomous, and creative. The focus is long-term goals. The mechanistic structure puts these ideas into action and takes care of the day-to-day operations of the organization. Their focus is short-term. This is a difference of creating opportunities versus seizing opportunities. The bottom-up approach is used to implement systems or processes to create the bottom-up flow of ideas. Those stuck in the trenches often have the best solutions to get out. In the bottom-up approach, as the name suggests, efficiencies, process changes, or innovations come from the lower levels in the hierarchy of an organization. The ideas are driven upwards and analyzed for viability. Driving ideas from the bottom up has greater risk identification because the innovators are directly working with the issue. Other benefits from this innovation approach are our employees will feel a sense of ownership to the organization's future successes. Large organizations require an innovation strategy to survive in today's world of technology. Those that have focused for fostering innovation are more successful in the long run, achieve their goals, and have happy employees.
Hi, my name is Erin Atkinson, and I will be discussing part 3 of our presentation, Critically Assess Innovation and Change. There are 4 types of innovation and change. Technology innovations are changes in an organization's production process, including its knowledge and skill base that enable distinctive competence. Product and service innovations pertain to product or service outputs of an organization. Strategy and structure innovations pertain to the administrative and management of the organization, and culture innovations refer to changes in the values, attitudes, expectations, beliefs, abilities, and behavior of employees. Managers must realize that the 4 types of change are interdependent and that changes in one area often require changes in others. Any company that isn't continually developing, acquiring, or adapting new technology will likely be out of business in a few years. Do you believe this is true? For technology innovation, which is of concern to most organizations, an organic structure that encourages employee autonomy works best because it encourages a flow of ideas throughout the organization. Other approaches are to establish a separate department charged with creating new technical ideas, establish venture teams or idea incubators, apply a variety of mechanisms, systems, and processes that encourage a bottom-up flow of ideas, and make sure they got heard and acted upon by top executives, and encourage idea champions. New products and services generally require cooperation among several departments, so horizontal linkage is an essential part of the innovation process. The latest trend is open innovation, which brings customers, suppliers, and other outsiders directly into the search for and development of new products. Crowdsourcing is a growing part of the open innovation trend. One example of technology innovation would be a new way to package candy canes that would protect them from getting broken while en route to stores. All organizations need to make changes in their strategies, structures, management processes, and administrative procedures from time to time. For changes in strategy and structure, a top-down approach is typically best. These innovations are in the domain of top managers who take responsibility for restructuring, for downsizing, and for changes in policies, goals, and control systems. Many organizations are cutting out layers of management and decentralizing decision-making. Organizations are made up of people and their relationships with one another. Culture changes are generally the responsibility of top management. Some recent trends that may create a need for broad-scale culture change in the organization are re-engineering, the shift to horizontal forms of organizing, and greater organizational diversity. All of these changes require significant shifts in employee and manager attitudes and ways of working together. One method of bringing about this level of culture change is organization development. OD focuses on the human and social aspects of the organization and uses behavioral science knowledge to bring about changes in attitudes and relationships. Changing culture can be difficult because it challenges people's core values and established ways of thinking and doing things. In a survey conducted by IBM and Industry Week magazine, 40% of respondents identified collaborating with customers and suppliers as having the most significant impact on product development time to market. The rapid development of new products and services can be a strategic weapon in an ever-shifting global marketplace. In general, faster new product development is associated with lower development costs and greater success because firms can gain favorable market position, more readily adapt to changing environments, and quickly address shifting consumer demands. For example, high-tech equipment enables clothing company Zara to produce about 400 million items each year, and allows stores to receive new items twice a week. Finally, the implementation of change can be difficult. Strong leadership is needed to guide employees through the turbulence and uncertainty and build organization-wide commitment to change. Understanding the curve of change can help leaders push through the despair and frustration often associated with major changes. Managers can increase the likelihood of success by thoughtfully planning how to deal with resistance. Implementation techniques are to establish a sense of urgency that change is needed, create a powerful coalition to guide the change, formulate a vision and strategy to achieve the change, and foster change teams and idea champions. To overcome resistance, managers can gain the support of top management, include users in the change process, align the change with the needs and goals of users, and provide psychological safety. Here's some questions to think about. How do you think technological advancement in the workplace affects different generations? Can you think of a time technology has advanced your work? Can you think of a time technology has hindered it?